Hello, and welcome back to Movie Theater Explorer. This is Brent, your Movie Theater Explorer here. Talk about the recent movies that I've seen in theaters as well as in my home theater, or just any home theater really. And I'll get to that later on. But um, anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts on some of these ones I've seen recently. Once again, for all of you that have come back again, I appreciate you coming back. For those that are coming here for the first time, I appreciate you checking this out. Hopefully, you find something that you enjoy, something insightful, or maybe a new movie to check out, or anything like that. But anyway, or seeking out to go see a movie in theaters, regardless. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some of these movies that I've seen in theaters, and we're going to get started. We're going to start with the first one. So I'm just starting with the movies that I saw in theaters. This first one here that I'm listing is not in a typical movie theater, but it was more in a library that was like set up to be a theater, a screening room per se, um, at a nearby university for me. And I went to go see Sunset Boulevard. I believe I shared my thoughts on seeing this when I saw it last year, and and it was really um, I really enjoyed it when I saw it. Again, it was my first time watching it last year when I saw it. Um, I picked it up on 4K Ultra HD when I did and checked it out that way, and it was definitely a very compelling movie. The performances are really good. The names are slipping my mind, so I'm going to try not to say any of them. But the one who plays the main actress did a fantastic job, and she played that very well. And getting to experience this in a screening room with like the picture quality looked really good. Um, I want to say it was the 4K scan, but I'm not positive on it. But regardless, it did look really good, and it sounded really good. I believe it was mono, since it didn't. Obviously, it was more coming from the front, and yeah, just paying attention to all the details of the movie, paying attention to the how things are framed, a lot of the production design, and kind of like that sense of how you start off like in the downtown of Los Angeles or Hollywood area, and then the main character goes to the house of the actress who is a silent movie star and or actress, sorry, an actress from the silent movie era. Let me rephrase it that way properly. And just like the decor and everything, just in a weird way, like some of the music choices felt like it was somehow like, at least for me, it felt like it was transporting me back to that time, and I thought that was rather unique. So, and yeah, and obviously how the story unfolds is definitely eerie and everything, and has a rather has some funny moments, but definitely unsettling and everything. And but it does a great job on pacing it, revealing everything, um, and everything, and just getting that experience in this screening room was really good. So again, this is one of those. It's a classic movie, and it's one of those. If you're looking for more classic cinema, I do highly recommend checking this one out. So, thoughts on those are my thoughts on those. Okay, the next one is Moana. This is the live action one that came out about a month ago. I had not seen it yet. This really wasn't high on my radar. It was one of those that, and I'd say when the word of mouth came out, the desire to really see it really dropped down. But it was one of those that I was like, you know what, I still want to at least check it out and just kind of form my own opinion. So yeah, let's talk about my opinion here, and and the key word is It was fine. Um, First off, the animated one I think was great. I remember seeing that one in theaters when it came out about 10 years ago, and just how great it was. The animation was beautiful. The locations looked colorful and beautiful, and the performances are top notch and everything. So again, this is the animated one, and so it left a great impression, and just one that I've enjoyed rewatching from time to time. Um, I think there's probably many that feel that way. Um, and again, it did feel like probably like a lot of other people that have stated this, but it felt a little too soon for them to make a live action. I think maybe looking at it, I might understand why they did it, but regardless, um, I thought I thought overall the performances were fine to pretty good, but the one that was really the big standout was the actress who played Moana herself. Um, I think she did a great job, and she was able to hit the notes well while singing. I think she brought the character to life for this iteration, and yeah, the other ones I think were all fine. I mean, they're some of them were better than pretty fine, honestly. Like some of them were pretty good, honestly. Um, Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Maui. Um, let's see. I think the word is fine. Probably better than fine. He wasn't as bad as I thought he would, or yeah, or as distracting, or as yeah, all that. I didn't think he was. I thought it was not going to be as good. And overall, like it felt like a very dialed down performance. I think was on purpose. Again, the hard part is the animated one was so animated. Sorry for the pun, but just like there was so much energy to his character in the animated version. This one felt like him trying to take it down a little bit just to match it being live action. And I think he did an okay job for that. I think he did a fine job. Um, there were some moments like again it basically follows the animated movie, um, basically beat for beat. There are very slight iterations that change here and there, more of like certain actions. So nothing too drastically different at all. Um, so it did feel a little bit uninteresting in that way. But some of the moments that had some slight variations that I kind of appreciated a little bit, or it made it a little more interesting, and I I appreciated it a little bit more than I thought I would. So I did not think this was as oh man, what's how do I want to say it? This was better than I thought it would be. And again, it's not a high standard, honestly, because this wasn't high on my list, and it didn't break any ground or anything like that. But I think it was fine. Again, the standout was the actress who played Moana herself, and she hit those notes very well. If you're looking to just want to see this in live action, you're kind of just curious. I think going on like a discount day, I think is a good way to go. I don't think it's that bad. Um, Again, it's one of those like I don't really care to see it again. Um, that's my feelings on it. So again, I'd stick with the animated version, but again, if you just want to see it in theaters, you're kind of curious, yeah, going on a discount day, I'd say give it a shot. Or if you want to wait for streaming, just kind of want to just check it out, I'm sure give it a shot. Again, don't have it's not something I would have high expectations for, but I think overall it was fine. And But I will say I went on a discount day, and it had it was a small auditorium. It was actually pretty packed for the discount day, and so I was kind of surprised. So anyway, all right, the next one I'm going to move on to is the Odyssey. I went to go see it, and so it's been ranking up a lot of big numbers. I really enjoy the movies by Christopher Nolan, and so I've been very curious on it. So I decided to go see it. And so, and again, I went to go see this in IMAX digital. Um, for those that are probably tracking all the stories, there is IMAX 70 millimeter, there's IMAX with laser, IMAX digital, um, and then there's the other ones like other premium formats and standard. Like I know there's a page that you can go to, and in it you can play the trailer and you can kind of get an idea of how the framing of each format is. So, um, so obviously the one I went for is IMAX Digital. Um, and you probably know the aspect ratios a little bit different for each format. IMAX 70 millimeter, the one everyone's trying to go see it is 1.43. IMAX Digital is 1.90. So we'll get to the quality of the presentation in a bit. Let's just focus on the movie itself first. And I thought it was very good, honestly. Um, Again, I'm going to state first off that I have not read the original story, so I can't make the right comparisons because I have not read it. I'm only familiar with things that I've heard. That's about it. But so I'm only able to, so I'm not able to judge it by the original story because I've not read it. So, um, but how this story was told, I thought the story was good. And again, keep in mind this is just me not having read the original story itself. So, but the parts that really shined for me were definitely the scale and scope of the movie, which is enormous. For those that don't know, for those that may have briefly heard, but Christopher Nolan tried to shoot this movie as practically as he could. So, going on location to shoot each of these scenes and film the movie, and trying to avoid blue or green screen. So, and just trying to capture it all much on film as they could. I mean, I think there's a probably a few moments here and there maybe they had to use digital, but they try to keep it as much on film as possible. And for all those that probably haven't heard, they shot this entire movie on IMAX cameras. So the so it was definitely meant for the biggest screen possible, and that's what they created. That's what Christopher Nolan created it for, and the rest of his team. Um, and watching it on screen, you could feel that scale and that scope. The cinematography felt enormous. The production design felt enormous. And another part that actually felt that helped immerse me and helped me feel this epic scope was the sound design. Um, Especially in an IMAX theater, where even like the ambient sounds of some of the locations they would go to, you can kind of feel that heightened sound and everything, and just how massive it felt and sounded and everything, and just it looked really cool, and just yeah, the just seeing everything done practically, from the Trojan horse to the ships to the sets that they went on and everything, and just going on location for certain sequences and just how beautiful a lot of them are, and so and just how everything felt massive, and all that. It was really cool to see it that way. Um, I was very impressed with the movie. It was real, like it was a very epic movie, and it was just cool to experience it this way. Um, like I said, I saw this in IMAX digital, and feeling that scope on that screen was great. Again, it even like if it wasn't like the 1.43 or the biggest IMAX possible, this IMAX theater I went to was still a really big IMAX theater, and it still felt I still felt immersed in the sound. Yeah, again, there was a lot of power in each of the sequences they were in, from even the encounter with the Cyclops, even like just being on the ship, um, and everything that happened. Just a lot of the power from the sound effects and everything, and it's just feeling immersed in all that was really cool. And again, this is I went on a regular evening. I did not go on a discount day, and the IMAX theater I was in, it was very full. So, and this was, I believe this movie's been out for a month now, and so it's been near pretty close to over a month, or pretty close to a month to when I saw this, and so it was still full. There's still a lot of people going. So it was really cool. It was a just a really cool experience. Um, if I get the opportunity to try to see it in IMAX 70 millimeter, I will definitely share my thoughts on that. Um, but yeah, again, something cool I did want to highlight. Um, they when they edited this movie, I think because they were trying to go from the original um, camera negative to like take all the film reels, basically edit them by hand the old fashioned way. So they didn't do editing from the traditional computer. So, and that just helped to try to keep the original detail of the images possible, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, but yeah, this was a really cool experience. And for those that are fans of Christopher Nolan, those that want to see like an epic movie like this, I highly recommend checking it out. It's still in theaters, and I think because of how well it's doing, I think it'll be around for at least um, another while. I think so. It is one I would try to seek out if you can. If you are a Christopher Nolan fan and you want to see an epic movie like that. Okay, the next one I'm going to discuss, The End of Oak Street. I saw this one recently. I saw it in Cinemark XD. So um, I saw the trailer months ago, and it just looked like a really fun dinosaur movie. And that's pretty much what I got. But I mean, I'll put it this way. I mean, again, I was expecting a certain tone. It felt like more thriller horror. Like there's a bit more of a horror aspect to it than I anticipated. So I was kind of surprised by that. So yeah, um, I was definitely kind of surprised by how it was. Um, the performances are really good. The cinematography and the production design were really good, matched the vibe of what they were trying to create. And it felt like a lot of people have said this, but it did feel like something that would have been released in the 80s. There was that kind of tone, that kind of magic, that kind of thrills to it. And it was really cool. Something that was kind of neat from when I saw it. Um, it looked like the film, like the picture looked pretty grainy, and it looked like there were some specks of um, all over the picture throughout the film. So it looked like as if a film reel was being projected, And again, this was Cinemark XD, so it's a digital cinema. And there's not, I mean, again, there's a few that are trying to bring back within a limited capacity. Keep in mind to do maybe some film projectors if they can do it. Again, based on some of the responses lately, but again, keep in mind these are not like film. Like I don't think film's making its all the way back. It's going to be more digital, but it did feel like a film print because of that filmic look that the creators went for. So there's definitely some jump scares in it. It was definitely the pacing was I thought was very good. It definitely like a how it goes to how it unfolds and how it ends. I thought was a um, very intriguing journey, and I had a fun time watching it. I Also the sound was really good. The dinosaur designs were um, definitely unique, um, and I think that's and I thought it was kind of cool to watch it that way. Um, let's see, yeah, the performances from the main cast, like Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway, I think they all did a really good job. Um, Overall, this was like a really fun movie to experience in theaters. And again, if you're looking for like oh, and the presentation, the colors and all that looked really good in Cinemark XD. Feeling that scope and scale that theater was really good, and the sound was immersive and well designed. The music was kind of cool. It felt like that kind of like music that would have played back in the movies from the 80s and all that. So, yeah, overall, it was a really fun time. Um, and one of those, like, hey, if you want like a fun dinosaur movie, um, and that has some nice intense thrills and all that, I do recommend checking this out. I do highly recommend checking this out actually. So yeah, if you're big into like a dinosaur movie that's and want something like maybe with a little bit of horror aspect to it, with enough of a sci-fi twist to it, but maybe aren't um, looking for the nuts and bolts of how everything works, but just looking for enough of that just to have a fun time with it. I recommend it. I highly recommend it. Okay, I'm going to move on to the movies that I've seen in my home theater, or at least in a home theater. And yeah, there's just one that I didn't see in my home theater, and I'll get to that. Um, the first one is Pressure. I picked this one up recently on 4K Ultra HD. Um, I wanted to obviously I really enjoyed it when I saw it in theaters, and so I wanted to pick it up when it came out, and so I did. I ordered it, um, and when I got it, I decided to check it out in my dedicated home theater. For those that remember my thoughts on the movie, I did. I did actually enjoy this quite a bit. I thought it was a very good movie. It's a World War II drama, focuses on weathermen trying to predict um, if D-Day should take place on the day that they're hoping for, so they can try to win the war. And so, um, and just some of the conflicts in that situation, which definitely, again, I've not read the accounts on what was accurate or anything like that, so I don't know anything about that sort. But I thought they did a really good job with the movie here. Um, it's very well edited. The sound is very well mixed and very well placed um, to help feel the tensity of some of these situations and even place you in certain situations. Um, Cinematography is effective in doing that as well. And then there's very good performances here. So I do highly recommend checking this one out if you're into World War II dramas. Um, how was the home theater experience? The 4K picture looked very good, honestly. Like the details and colors looked really good. The scope felt good on the projected screen. I watched this in my dedicated home theater, so and yeah, it just feeling that scope in a lot of the shots was really good, and the sound was in Dolby Atmos, and it was very very well designed, very well executed, and so I was very impressed with it. So yeah, very good sound design. Overall, this is a very good home theater experience, and for those that really enjoy the movie that are looking at picking it up, I do highly recommend picking this one up. So, um, yeah. Okay, my next one is National Treasure: Book of Secrets. So I rewatched this one because I had rewatched the first National Treasure, and I just thought, you know what, I should rewatch the second one this summer as well. I also have that one on DVD, so I was watching off the DVD. And again, there are better quality presentations out there for that. There is the Blu-ray, and I think on Disney Plus, I think it is 4K Ultra HD, or sorry, not in 4K. Sorry, let me correct that. It's in 4K. So the picture's in 4K on Disney Plus, I believe. I'm not positive on that, but I believe that that's the case. But there is a Blu-ray. Um, but I did go for the DVD because I just wanted to watch my DVD copy. Um, so again, everything I share, I mean, let me share my thoughts on the movie. I really enjoyed it, just like I enjoyed the first one. Um, I have a hard time deciding between the first or the second one I like more. I feel like I kind of want to go with the first one just because um, it was like I think there was some aspects that felt a little more fresh and unique, but at the same time, I still think this second one still has aspects of it that I like a bit more. Like I do like the grander epic adventure aspect where they go to parts around the world, and the place they go to in the last like 20 to 25 minutes of the movie. And so in that whole adventure aspect was just really cool. And again, I like a good adventure movie, and a treasure hunt adventure movie is just really cool. So I do highly recommend if you, especially if you like the first one. And the DVD that I watched in my modest home theater. The picture quality was good. Um, Again, it's dated. Better presentations out there. Um, but so it's in standard definition. It looked good for what it is. Again, nothing to knock down the doors, but it looked good. Nothing nothing to write home about. But and the sound was was good as well. A little better than good, I would say. Some moments were well designed, like the car chase sequence had some power to it, and just hearing the car all over the speakers, panning from one to the other. So, and there's some moments, some ambient sounds, like the when they're in the temple and or in the ruins temple, trying to get to the treasure, and just a thing involving a platform. Just that felt the sound design sounded really good there. So so yeah, for my setup, it was a good home theater experience. Again, I would go for the Blu-ray at the least, and even going to streaming for the 4K presentation. I believe it's in 4K. If it's not, I apologize. But there is a Blu-ray copy, and I don't think the Blu-ray was that expensive. I probably will upgrade it at some point. I think it's just a matter of when, just like the first one. But still, I still recommend seeing the movie regardless. Okay, this next one I'm going to go to is Sing Street. Um, I picked this one up recently on 4K Ultra HD. This was actually my first time ever watching it. Um, there was some word of mouth that got out as this one got announced, and so I just decided to take a shot at it and check it out. And I'm actually glad I did. I thought it was a very good movie. The the like the story was very good, and the big highlight was the music, the um, and all that. Like it's about a group of kids that decide to come together to form a band. Mainly starts with one kid who sees a girl, basically wants to connect with her, and he basically declares that he's in a band, and that's kind of how the movie unfolds. And he realizes he needs to form a band, and so it's him trying to learn how to play music, and everything, and just and seeing that process was just really cool, and how the editing was done, how the story unfolds, um, some of the struggles that they go through, some of the tender moments on maybe some of the struggles that were going on. It was really like it was just a very good movie, honestly. I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm very glad for the recommendation, for the word of mouth that got out on this one. Because again, I did not. This came out 10 years ago. I did not see it in theaters. I did not check it out on video for a long time. But the word of mouth got strong on here that I was like, I wanted to check it out, and I'm glad I did. And for those that like movies that involve like forming a band, or just movies that involve music, like rock music and all that, I do highly recommend seeking this one. I picked this one up on 4K Ultra HD from Lionsgate Limited, and I checked it out in my dedicated home theater, and I was very pleased with the home theater presentation. The 4K picture looked great. Colors and details look great. And just just looked really impressive. And there's some good feeling of the scope of the picture on the projected screen. It looked rather impressive. It again, this was I think this was an indie film, so um, and it was well shot. Like you could feel that scope um, on some of those shots and everything, and it was very impressive. And some of the set design was really good, from the smaller moments to even some of like um, going by the seaside and all that. Um, the sound is in Dolby Atmos, and it sounded great as well. Um, it sounded very immersive. The rock music, definitely, I could feel myself beating to or tapping my toe to a lot of the music, and some cool moments that hopefully I can describe it the right way. But there's like a transition of how music is played, watching on a TV. You're hearing the music from like the front speakers, and then as it fills the whole soundscape, it goes from like the top channels to the back channels, and it just sounded really cool that way. I was just really like, I was really impressed by that. And yeah, it was a very like, it was a great home theater experience. And those that are fans of this movie, I highly recommend seeking out this movie on 4K Ultra HD from Lionsgate Limited. Okay, this next one I'm going to go through is called, hopefully I got the title right, The Thursday Murder Club. I'm just going to double check that just to make sure. Um, if you have not seen the movie, um, it's on Netflix. I was watching with my family on the weekend, and so I decided to, I joined them, and so I watched it at one of my family members' house. And it was my sister, and so she had a big screen TV, and so I thought, you know what, I decided to include this like because it was kind of a home theater esque setting. Again, it was more of this. The sound was from the speakers. The picture, like the TV screen was very big, like I think a 75-inch. So I decided to include it here. Um, it's off Netflix, and um, and so I so what and so it was off Netflix, and basically um, I enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about it going in. I don't even recall seeing a trailer or even hearing about it before. I don't really watch a lot of movies on Netflix. There's the rare one here and there. A lot of them are ones that they pop up in theaters, but there are a few that are coming out that I do want to check out. Actually, there is even there's a few that are probably already on there that I do want to check out at some point. So I might get on Netflix and check them out. But regardless, and then one that's coming out later this year called Ray Gun. Anyway, don't want to get into all that. I'm just going to focus on the movie here. And overall, like, I mean, again, it did feel like a movie made for Netflix, but honestly, I enjoyed it a lot, enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, there's a good amount of humor in it. The cast was the big selling point for me. There's really good cast members. Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley. Um, oh man, I'm gonna Richard E. Grant has a small role in it. Oh man, now I'm some of these names like I am seeing these actors, and yeah, there's Paul Freeman has a role. Um, and I'm gonna look up who the other. Oh, okay, Jonathan Price and David Tennant. This is a stacked cast, so that's more of what I'm going for. This is a stacked cast, and I thought everyone did a good job with their role. Um, some have more of a presence, and though they just, it looks like everyone had a really fun time, and it was directed by Chris Columbus, I believe. So yeah, you probably know some of the movies he's done. And but yeah, and I thought it was an enjoyable movie. I had a fun time watching it. Um, so yeah, um, I don't think I have a lot towards the home theater presentation, but the picture quality looked good. Again, it did feel like a Netflix streaming movie, but overall, I still I still think this was. I'm still glad I checked it out. And for those that are curious on it, those that like the actors that I've mentioned, again, the main standouts are Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, and Ben Kingsley. They're the ones that have the biggest presence in the movie. Um, they're like the main cast, and they do a good job here. So, and play their roles very well. So, if you're looking for something like that, I do recommend checking it out. Okay, this last one I'm going to go to is X Men. This is the first X Men movie released back in 2000. I picked this one up recently on 4K Ultra HD, and I checked it on my dedicated home theater. Um, I just want to describe about the movie first. Obviously, the start of the MCU, I is Iron Man because that's the official start. Um, there are all these ones that are Marvel movies that helped get to that and still have a role that do intertwine somehow into the MCU in certain ways. But regardless, this is the first Marvel movie that I saw. I think this is one of the first big Marvel movie that a lot of people have saw, and that was probably made. Of course, there was Blade that was released a couple years before that. Um, but X Men was the first one. I was 14 years old when this one came out, so I got to see this one in theaters. I did not see it when it first came out. It was about a few weeks after it came out that I saw it, and I was very excited to see it. Um, I had not watched the cartoon a lot, but I had watched certain episodes. I knew the theme very well, and but I was very excited for this movie. I remember seeing at least a few trailers that got me really excited for it, and yeah, I got to see it, and it was definitely really cool to see in theaters. I only saw it once in theaters. I watched it a couple of times on video or on VHS, and then I did get it on DVD for that Christmas and watched it quite a few times on that DVD. And I did get the Blu-ray later on, and of course, I now got the 4K. So, um, obviously, I feel like this was just like a really um, good introduction into the X-Men universe. I think kind of a good way, an introduction into the whole a comic book movie aspect of it, because um, what I mean by that is how um, there were some comic book movies or a few comic book movies here and there, but this is the one that I feel like really started to treat the material a little more serious. Like a lot of the design choices, yeah, they weren't as colorful as the comic books themselves. Um, they felt like it felt more like taking the material, trying to turn it into like a science fiction movie and go with that tone. And that's what it felt like. Um, and I feel like they did a good job with that one. So um, I do recommend checking it out. And I think with Avengers Doomsday coming out, I think this is one worth revisiting just to, I don't know which one. This is a good question that I'm thinking now that what would be my picks for watching in preparation for Avengers Doomsday? I would say the Multiverse Saga and then at least a few X Men movies like this one. Because this is a good one that just introduces you to the world, introduces you to the characters and everything. And so, yeah, I do recommend checking it out. Like I said, I checked this one out on 4K Ultra HD, watched it in my dedicated home theater, and I was definitely very impressed with the home theater presentation. The 4K picture looked really good. Um, I do have it on Blu-ray. I have watched it on Blu-ray, but I've watched it on different equipment, so I'm not able to make the best comparison between the Blu-ray up to the 4K. So I'm only able to give you how the 4K was, and the it looked very good. The colors and details looked really good. I felt like I could feel the scope on the projected screen on quite a few of the images, and yeah, the CGI is dated, but I feel like the CGI was used sparingly. That it wasn't to the point that I felt like it was distracting. So, um, so yeah, um, but yeah, I do recommend. Um, and then the sound was in DTS HD 5.1, so and it sounded really good in the dedicated home theater. Like I felt very immersed in many of the moments, and there was a lot of power to certain effects, and a lot of the sound, the ambience would fill the soundscape, and was well utilized, well designed, well executed, and it was very impressive. I definitely could feel that scope as a result. So yeah, I was very impressed. I thought this is a really good home theater experience. And as far as my recommendation for picking up the 4K Ultra HD, this is probably not one that's easy to seek out. Um, so um, it's one of those like, hey, if you really want to go for it, I'd say I do highly recommend getting it if you really want to go for it. If you have the Blu-ray, you think you're fine with it, I think that's fine. Um, if you have the DVD or wanting to upgrade to 4K, look up the price and see if you can find a copy. And I'll leave that decision for you because again, this is not one that's easy to find. So, okay. before I head out, I'm just going to focus on the question of the day. And I thought this one would be kind of appropriate because we're months away from it, but I believe the tickets for Dune 3 are supposed to go on sale tomorrow um, at the time of this recording, and I believe at the time when I post this um, for the IMAX showings during the first week. So this is probably going to sell out pretty quick, but but yeah. So anyway, the question is between Avengers Doomsday and Dune 3, which one am I looking forward to more? And for me, it's Dune 3. I'm really looking forward to Avengers Doomsday. Um, I'm very excited to see how they pull it off and everything. I'm very excited to just see how all this comes together, bring forth eras from the past and everything. So, but the reason I'm saying for Dune 3 is because watching Dune through the trailer for Dune 3 in an IMAX theater, again, even an IMAX digital theater, it just felt like feeling that scale and the scope of it was incredible. And even just checking it out in my, um, even checking out the trailer a few times in my modest home theater, feeling that scale and the scope of how it's shot and everything, just I'm very excited to come back to this world. And the other two, just feeling that scale and scope in the IMAX theater was incredible. So that's the reason why I'm looking forward to Dune 3 just a little bit more. So, um, okay. So that's it for today for Movie Theater Explorer. Thank you again for tuning. Whether you've listened to all my reviews or listened to a few to just one or two of my reviews, or even just a portion of or parts of certain reviews or one review or whatever. Whatever the case may be, I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. This is Brent with Movie Theater Explorer signing off.